virtual reading with you guys. Okay, do some book reading. All right. So again, if you have any questions or anything like that, and ask me, do anything, shout out or anything on my during my sessions, during my book reading. All right, guys, I'm gonna read you this thing here. It's my mom and my dad, great couple, by the way. They're so happy all the time. I'm telling you, my father and my mother. The greatest people, human beings that I ever known in my entire life. And I am saying that out of my heart. I know that in this world that we live in, we share stories about our past experiences and things like that to empower others, right? To discover ourselves, transforming ourselves into a best version of us, right? And a lot of us always reference our childhood. A lot of us always reference, that those are the teachers, the past, using it as a template of our future evolution, right? However, I want to say that I know that I haven't really told or shared with you all the full why of my childhood. I'm very fortunate to have a very happy childhood because my parents, I think I owe it to them both, have always shown us, demonstrated, and the parenting skills that they had. Now that I'm a parent also, right? I've been a parent, grandparent. It's important, as a parent, as the guardian, as a responsible human being, adult, to demonstrate that examples. It's called leadership as well as a parent. So I'll look back now and then look at how my parents taught me all those skills and disciplinary skills, mostly from my dad. It's like, I think my dad and General Patton, they must have been BFF in some other lives or something. I'm telling you, it's like, wow, my father used to be so disciplined that that's all I can remember, by the way, that it's always like a military, disciplined environment. It was at our home, homework done by a certain time before 5 or 6, and then dinner time, my mom, and, as a family, but homework has to be done and corrected, reviewed by my father. And that's how it was. You have to know what you do, your homework. I'll remember vividly one incident, and I will never forget. And it's a great experience, by the way. When you look back, you are a child and you are growing up and you think, back then as a child, you thought, oh, my dad is so mean. It's called tough love. So the incident was my late father was a PhD, and General Patton, they must have been BFF in another life. That's all I have to say. Must have known each other. So one of the most genius men I've ever met in my whole entire life is my father. And the best 29 years of my life spent with him. Anyhow, this book, Audacity or Veracity, hopefully you guys can see that, is about him. All right, so from the top, Nikki. All right, so I Dare is an acronym. You guys know that. It is an acronym for integrity, diversity, adaptation, resilience, and empowerment. It is the hallmark of my life, derived from learning to evolve through difficult circumstances. Growth experiences necessarily result from challenges. This one is the greatest one of this. Without obstacles, we never would know the true meaning of success or feel the exaltation of triumph over adversity. Through my personal life journey, I hope to demonstrate how, in transcending seemingly insurmountable hurdles, people can claim their inner true strength. So the cliche to err is human can be modified in innumerable ways. Fear, loss, rejection, disappointment, heartaches, family dysfunction, unmitigated joy, and unspeakable despair are all inexorable parts of the human condition. In other words, life is a series of opposites. And even though polar extremes can make us intensely confused at times, they also present a glorious opportunity. Why is that? Okay, so each of us, hold on. They also present the chance to unlock our often untapped potential and talents that we never even knew existed. And each of us, I have to point this out to you guys, is a tiny microcosm of potential, yearning to find expression and the channels for our individual uniqueness. Doing so is just a decision away. All right. So the affirmation, that is the affirmation of I Dare. Dare to be courageous, I dare to be strong, tenacious, fearless, and unique, as it commands us to claim our right to be. So it's yours. Is the I wanted to say, not just for integrity, but it's your individual dare. Okay. However, we define being happy, content, secure, and ready to grasp life in all of its wonderful and often terrifying aspects. So sometimes it's good, sometimes, all right, fear. The other side of fear is where you want to be. Is this wonderful, wonderful, because it's terrifying here. And that's what I'm trying to say to you guys. The other side of fear is the abundance of the things in life that you have to chase, that you must see. Okay, so within each individual lies the key to the unleashing of greatness. The key is not a physical construct, it is rather a plan, which we first must articulate for ourselves. Sometimes writing down a roadmap for life can help. So I did this before, by the way, in my life, and I still have it, a journal. As I entered my college years, I wrote my life plans and my goals. At the time, I had no idea my journal was the origin of the I Dare philosophy. The words formulated by my youthful heart, enhanced by time and life experience, and still resonate in my present consciousness. So in order to be successful, I wrote this. I must be first, daring, original, persistent, tenacious, right? So that's what I want to say on this. And I think I wrote this before. I read this together with you guys. But in this one too, I want to include, moving on to, so I penned this affirmation. I learned that there is no blueprint for anything. Although the concept may sound frightening, it is also liberating. We're all blank slates or our own creation, ready to be molded and shaped into whatever and whomever that we envision. So we got to envision ourselves, who we want to be, what we want to be. So we're all struggling with that, where you are today. And then there is a huge gap where you want to be. Where you want to be and who you want to be. Where you want to be and who you want to be. There's a huge gap. And that's what we're talking about right now. You gotta vision yourself, right? The ideological template for my life took shape through the love and nurturing of my parents, my anchors in every storm in my life, throughout my life, despite periods of emotional disassociation and distance, owing to the vicissitudes of life. My mother and my father provided the unshakable foundation on which I stand today. Geographic distance never can keep me from my mom, to whom I speak every day until today, forever. And the finite nature of existence never will curtail or diminish the eternal love that I feel for my dad, who enters my dream every night, still does, by the way, and comes to me again and again in the luminescence of the moon. Because that's his nickname, Moon. You want to check him out. Look at him. He's relaxing. I think I don't know whether he was reading or he was checking on his watch. He loves to just look at him. That's my dad. Yeah, he was like resetting his watch, I think, or something like that. He loves Rolex, by the way. On my parents' foundation of love, strength, and discipline, I grew. Also, I came to acknowledge the notwithstanding the framework that we built for ourselves. Life can be unpredictable. Yes, life can be unpredictable. Looking back on my life and goals, I say out loud, what was I thinking? I didn't count on the many unexpected pitfalls that I would inevitably encounter along the way. A huge transition from Eastern into Western culture, having to fend for myself without a consistent parental presence in my formative years, right? It gets better. An early adult experience, developing and sustaining a career and owning a business at a very early age, a failed marriage while I was 2 months pregnant, the birth of my son without his father, the tragic, untimely death of my own beloved dad, having to endure his loss and honor his legacy, my disconnect and subsequent indelible meeting of the minds with my cherished mom, who is now the bedrock of my world, learning to be a mom myself, remarrying, learning how opposites really do attract, encountering health issues still today, and countless other experiences that I will share you in these pages of my book. So the act of imparting my experience is not only cathartic, it is a life-affirming declaration to all who hold this book in hand that anything is possible through faith and courage to dare. And I wrote this, page 18, guys, in this book. Fear is a natural reaction to various obstacles that we encounter along life's road. At times, we feel trapped without any alternatives. Some people call these situations rock bottom, but there is always a chance to tap our inner resources to rebuild and focus on a new goal. Our strength to move forward derives from the source, our God, our faith, however we individuals, obviously, right, with different perspectives, conceive Him to be. As the all-powerful creator, God is unchangeable, constant, and unconditionally loving. Even we are not aware, we should know. His love and power are at work in our lives. To access that strength, we need only open our minds and hearts to embrace Him. Doing so is a rejection of mediocrity and hearts to embrace Him. Doing so is a rejection of mediocrity and linear living with interest in and enthusiasm for the roller coaster ride we call life, in which all of us participate, right? Breaking free from the confines of limitation, no matter what the issue may be, health, career, family life, this COVID lockdown, social interaction, social distancing is a cornerstone of living authentically. The I Dare concept is based on the notion that by looking through a multidimensional mirror, from the outside in, you experience this paradigm shift, a new reality shaped by personal perspective, solidified by pillars of excellence or anchors that hold the structure, whatever the goal may be, right? Intact. My pillars are my parents and the values and philosophies that they infused in me over time. So the metaphor forms the foundation of I Dare principles and ideologies, which are based on my own real experiences. I Dare is intended to signify individual daring, like I said before, right? And aims to inspire others to live their lives with truth and purpose. In other words, everyone has a backstory which holds and molds and shapes us, right? When we look at it objectively, with perspective, set by time-honored cultures, traditions, and beliefs, or the pillars, we have access to the perfect foundation of our respective, his story, her story, their story, your story, and my story, which I dare to tell you in these pages in this book. In so doing, I hope to demonstrate that no matter what circumstances that you may find yourself in today, you can transform the negatives into renewed positives and find unimaginable strength. Take it from me, I Dare is a quick and immediate as your pulse. You can miss the chance. It is as close as your heartbeat and intention. That's very, very true. May my journey provide a measurable of impetus. All right, guys, that's the preface. I know there's a lot to say and everything like this, and I hope you guys enjoyed it so far. And I'm gonna take a couple questions here. I know it's like, yeah, thank you. All right, looking at the clock, I'm gonna pick up a couple questions. All right, this one, Susan. Yeah, I tried many things to motivate me on a daily basis, but it seems that not much has stayed with me. What can I do? What should I do? All right. I struggle with that. I struggle with the daily, motivation. But really, this is something that you gotta have to choose. It's a choice, by the way. The happiness, the switch, we have switch to be happy, to be sad, right? Every day, every morning when we wake up. So it starts from the moment when we wake up to choose that, because it will keep the momentum going. We need it most at the moment we wake up, because as the day goes by, there's going to be a lot of challenges, right? A lot of challenges that's going to challenge us to be emotionally, test our challenge, test our patience, we call it, right? So I think my message or my advice to you guys is that make it a habit of telling it to yourself. And I have a mantra, by the way, that I say, daily mantra when I wake up in the morning, that I will do good, I will do better than yesterday. And by the way, say it out loud, because when you do say it out loud, you set out the affirmation to yourself, and not just to you, but back to the universe. Universe will hear that. Universe will have your back, believe me. And magic things happen. I say this to myself all the time. It's like, no one's going to defeat me. Nothing's going to defeat me today. I will do my best. I will be the best version today than yesterday. Say that out loud. And I want to be successful. This is going to be my best day today in my life. Say that. I mean, if you keep saying that, it will become that. Have you ever heard that trick? Yes, you have, right? So try that to yourself, starting today, starting tomorrow, whatever you're ready. But I suggest ASAP. Right, so that's my thing that I want to advise to her. The second thing that I want to advise is being gratitude. Being grateful every day will immensely help you in the way you think, in the way you act. Both equally important. I started the jar of happiness action, massive action, call to action, CTMA, call to massive action. a few years ago. It has helped me tremendously. In fact, more than a few years ago, when my son was junior high, so he's 24 now. So how long has that been? Intermittently, though, because I travel quite heavily, and then so I don't do it during my travel period of traveling. However, I do that regularly, frequently during the time that I'm here. And what I do is that I have a jar, literally have a jar, big jar. Um, I use that as a part of my New Year's resolution, where everybody is making their list. That's what I have. Basically, what it is, the goal of the jar, having the jar of happiness, is that it is a reminder. Is more like a journal for you, mentally, visually, and then also physically. Because what I do, I keep a record of it, write it down, things that make you happy, small or big, even success, your success stories in there, or even wishes, what you want to wish to happen. You can probably have two jars of happiness, wishing bowl and then a jar of happiness, right? But I do this because it gives the momentum in my life on a daily basis, weekly basis. So think about it. You write down what what you're grateful for. I'm grateful because I just bought a set of this, for example. Now that I am able to produce things that I want to be producing, right? Make podcasts and then recording stuff and then listening to motivational videos in the mornings and things, benefit me to become a better me every day. So those are successes that you can write into your own success story. So that's what a reminder, the goal of having a jar of happiness, to be grateful, right? To be grateful. That will keep you, push you to do more. Because remember, we have two sides of brain, right? The brain that always tells us negative things. By the way, 90% of things that we think about is negative. So, cut loose on that. The other side, the only 10%, 15%, 20% are the positive things. So you want to talk to this brain. So you want to cut that, right? And say, hey, I'm listening to the positive. So having that kind of jar of happiness will definitely keep you and keep the momentum going. Hold on a minute. So, all right, I'm back. So that's what the purpose and the goal of having jar of happiness in your life, by keeping your positive, is a positive reinforcement in a journal. Success stories for you, is for you, the intention for you. Okay, so it's your personal things, part of your self-awareness, part of your daily routine, part of your daily habit. And it is very powerful, by the way, if you look at it that way. And it's not waste of time at all, because that should be part of your personal development growth. Keeping yourself grateful, keeping yourself, with this. I know I kick off like this 24 hours gratitude, and I think everybody loved it. It's not just 24 hours. You can say 365 days of gratitude, and then you repeat it again. You do it, you repeat, you repeat, you repeat. And then by that time, guess what? You look back, and then you take evaluation, and you go, holy, right, you've come a long way. You're a happier person. You have more positive thinking. You defeat this part of the brain that says, I want to be sad. I want to be, I want to talk about past all the time. I want to talk about regrets. I want to think about all of my, why people hate me, or, the envy and the jealousy and all of this. It's like, no, I don't want to hear you. Right. So focus on this thing. Focus on the positive. Focus on the, replace all of that thing. So one of the ways to do it for me that has worked is keeping the jar of happiness, keeping a journal also, write things down. Writing things down, two things. Writing things down has helped me. Your thoughts, your everything, writing it down. And guess what? Before you know it, you have a book. By the way, that's $1 million tip. Your blogs and everything, right? Second thing is voice it out, talk it out, speak it out, because that is your affirmation. Your personal affirmation is so powerful. When you get that out of your system, here, right? When you say, I am going to do as fast as I can, say it out loud. I will not take this anymore. I will not. I'm going to make a change in my life to be the best version of me. That's your self affirmation. How strong is that? If you want to jump up and down, go ahead and do that. By the way, I do that before my meeting. I go like this, and it's just like, hey, you guys, hey, give me a high five and everything like this. You've got to keep that enthusiasm, okay? As part of the energy, the good energy, you have it, I have it, everybody has that. Everybody has born with it, right? We can't blame what's around us. It's us. We have all of the sources, all of the energy, all of the enthusiasm is how we make it. You heard the quote, life is 10% what happened to you, and the 90% is really how you react and how you respond. Same thing. All right, same thing about inspiration as well. Motivation keeps you there, but inspiration is really what drives you. That's your force out there. You get inspired, you move with it, you take it with you, you drive with it. Okay, so the second question, hopefully that answers my Susan's questions. How to start writing a book? Can you tell me where to start? Ooh, that's a separate session. But in short, I can respond to that. I think I told you also, give you a little bit the hint a while ago about writing the blogs and writing it down. Writing down your thoughts is really truly the start of that book that you're talking about. First of all, what kind of book do you want to write? You know, educational, informational, fiction, nonfiction. You know, do you want to just write an ebook? That's everybody does that, right? You gotta have to narrow it down to what kind of book do you want to write? What kind of genre do you want to write? Right? That's the first thing. The second thing is to get organized. Organized in the framework, basically. I call it the foundation, just like building a house, right? You gotta have to have a frame. You gotta have a foundation before you even put the pillars or the stands, the poles and everything like that to hold it up. So you gotta have to have the base. The baseline would be the outline of the topics, right? Once when you determine what kind of genre, what kind of topic, what kind of book that you're going to write, then you can write down the outline, the highlights, because that's what I did. I just write down, this is what I want to write. So what I'm trying to say, for example, the chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, you write chapter 1, this is what I'm going to talk about. Chapter 2, this is what I'm going to talk about. That's after you know what you're going to talk about, the points. Because the content of each chapter will be the easy part. Well, will be the process, the long process part, because that's where your creativity comes in. But if you have the framework, the base, just like building a home, a house, then, you know, that's what you need to do. Okay, so can you tell me where to start? That's the answer, the short answer. Can you tell me where to start? What I'll do also as an aid, as a help, device is this. And I have a notebook there. I have a notebook with a pen, and also have recording like this. This is my extra batteries, by the way. Yes, I'm an advocate for safety and survival, so I always have that. In fact, I have 4 or 2. I usually have 4, but it's too heavy and they fall off. Anyway, I have this. I carry this all the time. I have 3 actually, and this is my best friend. I carry it all the time wherever I go. In the car, I have 1 in the car. So I don't know if you guys live in LA traffic. Oh my gosh. Anyway, that's what I do. I just stuck in traffic and I start talking my thoughts, my whatever is in my mind. Record it, because you know what? You're not a robot, or you're not a computer. You don't remember things. I don't remember things. I try not to, not the bad ones. No, there's not bad ones. I don't remember things, so I either record it, document, or I just write things down. You know, like when I have when I'm in Starbucks, for example, or I'm in between meetings and I have to wait, I have like an hour or 30 minutes kind of thing to wait around between meetings and things, I just start writing down things. That's how I get to the content of the book that I wrote. That's that's the second part. That's the second, yeah. Basically, those are the two-part questions, right? Short answers is that. And you got the content after that, right? You got the resources, you got all of these things. You just need to tweak it around and then to organize it very well, based on the chapters, points or highlights that you've already created. So that's how I start the book. That's how flowing of the book too. And as far as the key though, as far as like when to write these things, because everybody's busy, right? And you're gonna say, I don't have time to write. I hear this so common, very common. It's like, I don't have time, but I want to write a book, of course. It also has been my excuse. Yeah, isn't that the truth? Been my excuse. So find time, set aside, I suggest 1 or 2 hours. After 2 hours, you get tired, and then your brain probably started to like, fuh. You get inundated, you get overloaded, right? 1 hour, 2 hours, depending on how your energy is and everything. Take breaks, take small breaks, take 5-minute break. Look at the window, take a walk. Take a walk is the highly recommended. Take a walk outside, not inside the house, outside. Take a walk outside 5 minutes, look at the flowers, look at the blue sky. Come back again, you feel refreshed, and you get back at it again. 2 hours maximum. Night, morning, I don't know. Depends on you. How receptive are you? I mean, depending on your schedule, I mean, if you have a full-time job, is morning okay? I mean, do you do fitness in the morning? Do you do fitness during lunch break? Do you do fitness also at nighttime before you go to bed? Depending on your schedule. But set aside time. 1 hour is perfect. 2 hours, you go get her. Right? And then before you know it, in a disciplined way, before you know it, that accumulates, right? That's your down payment for writing a book. So that's my answer. Hopefully that answers it, by the way. Okay, so I have to go. It's already been over 1 hour. I don't want to bore you guys, but you guys always come back next Friday at 11 o'clock. We got plenty more things to say, to do, right? But that's all I have to say to you on this book. This is a great book. If you want to get to know me better, grab this book. And like I said, if you are have been attending 3 times consecutively in my sessions, you gotta tell me, give me a shout out. In fact, give me a shout out in one of my posts on LinkedIn that you have read the book, or even better, if you have the book and you have it, take a picture and then tag me, Nicky Dare, or I did, Dare Inspires or something like that. Give me a shout out. I will take care of you. All right. So these are available on Amazon already, paperbacks and Kindle. Just so you know, these 2 are coming soon. I heard it's this week they're gonna ship it to me. I know it's been delayed. I mean, because of COVID and all of this stuff, which is okay with me. I understand. I get it. But these 2 books are coming in my mail. Ship it to me, and I'll share it with you guys hopefully by next week. And I'm excited, incredibly excited. And stay tuned with me. Hang out with me again for the next Friday, right? If you have any questions, or you want me to shout out for you and things like that for these 2 questions, like what I just did, send it to books@nickydare.com. And that's it, folks. If you are on LinkedIn, go ahead and follow me there and connect with me. I would love you to connect with me there on LinkedIn. If you are on Twitter, go ahead and do that. Nicky Dare, the Nicky Dare. If you are watching this, and it will be on all of this thing is going to be on my YouTube. So if you're watching this, my YouTube, what are you waiting for? Give it a thumbs up and share. I love you to share this kind of thing to anybody, to all your network, whoever that can be inspired and need it that day or any day, right? So, okay, guys, subscribe, comment. Yes, feedback is my gift. Your feedback is my gift. And like it, subscribe, comment, all that fancy stuff that you do every day. All right, that's it for me. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This is Nicky Dare. God bless. Happy Friday. Happy great weekend tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday. God bless. Bye.